Hi everyone, good evening and welcome to this edition of Startup Central. I'm Avanne Dubash. We've got lots lined up on the show as we talk about the latest fundraisers as well as some of the new age tech companies and their path to profitability and what this could mean for the road ahead. Well, let's kickstart the show then by inviting your feedback. If you want to reach out to us, if you have any comments or any feedback whatsoever, suc@etnow.tv is where you can email us. Well, let's start off with our first discussion for the day then. Can artificial intelligence accurately gauge what you might actually feel when you look at a new product? While it does sound far-fetched, that's exactly what Bengaluru-based Entropik Tech is helping clients achieve. It's an AI-based online market research startup. They're in the spotlight for recently raising $25 million in a funding round that's been dubbed as Series B. Ranjan Kumar, who is the founder and CEO at Entropik, now joins us on the show. Thank you so much for taking time out. So let's begin then by talking about the fundraise. I just want to understand what exactly is the total funds that have been raised by the company and what the outlook is now in terms of your post-funding valuation.
Sounds good. Thanks a lot for having me here. We raised $25 million in total, led by Bessemer and then SIG partners. So that's primarily the two major tech investors leading the round. And then we sort of looking forward to actually deploying this to further consolidate our tech product and scaling into multiple geographies. So that's what the outlook of the new round raises.
Okay, fair enough. Now, Ranjan, let's get a move on then and just understand a little bit more about how this really works, because I understand there have been over 20,000 odd apps that have been tested. What kind of behavioral data is it that the company is currently sitting on, and how are you looking to really generate that data in becoming more predictive for your clients?
Sure. So historically, the way brands do understand behavior is by either using surveys or using focus group discussion. What we bring on the table is world's first multimodal emotion AI technology. It's a patented one to us, wherein we use webcam to track the face expression of the users as they are, let's say, watching an ad. So we track second by second what is the attention level, what is the engagement level, what are the emotion levels. So brands to get a lot more pinpointed actionable as in what's likely to work, not work. This is done with a consented panel of users and not on live users. So that gives you a more insight in terms of how you can make your advertisement better. And likewise, how can you make your product experiences better? So primarily using webcam feed to analyze face expression, eye movement, and voice transcription and tonality is what we use to get the insights for the brands. So that's what we do.
Ranjan, when it comes to your overall, revenues, I understand that a majority of the revenues, about 70%, comes from the United States and Europe. The rest is generated from India as well as Southeast Asia. Who exactly are some of your peers within this space, and what is the outlook in terms of your overall revenue pie? Will the majority still come from US and Europe?
Yeah, about 70% of our revenue is from US and Europe. And that's primarily because the appetite of market is huge and the kind of spends that a lot of these larger brands do in this market is very different on SaaS. So purely from a maturity and adoption perspective, that's been a market which is best giving traction to us. Well, we started first in India. In terms of count of customer, we have a lot more in India and Southeast Asia, but by revenue pie, it's a lot more outside. So what we have been doing, consumer research is a 100-year-old industry and largely led by a lot of agencies, Kantar, Nielsen's of the world. And primarily, they have been driving this quantitative and qualitative way of understanding consumer. Now, with the kind of tech that we bring, it allows you to run your consumer research a lot more behaviorally. And sort of that's the pie that we are trying to take and augmenting their existing way of doing things. So early start for us, but I think we are seeing some very large brands actually working with us, about 152 right now globally. Consumer brands work with us. This is across CPG, across media entertainment, across financial services, and then gaming, and a bunch of these digital platforms. So that's been our story on scale up and customers.
Okay, so who are some of these clients? If you could just walk us through the names and run us through what kind of financial metrics you enjoy currently. What is your revenue run rate? What are the margins that you enjoy? Are you profitable?
Sure. So some of these large customers would be like customers like Lego, banks like Barclays. We work with PNGs of the world, digital first brands like Flipkart. And these are the customers which primarily are looking at innovating their experience that they deliver on marketing and product side. So a tech like ours actually allows them to really understand consumer behavior, which is not just stated, but a lot more unstated emotional behavioral insights as such. So these are the customers. We are a very heavy IP-led product organization, which means that the core tech itself is very powerful. It's patented with about 17 patent claims that we do hold. And out of that, as it contributes to business, we are running at a 85% gross margin business. And currently, we have seen a growth of about 7x in last 18 months, despite of market behaving very differently in different parts of the world. And that growth and margin allows us to be profitable operationally while we scale and continue to invest in new markets. So overall, that pans out, the net profitability pans out over a period of time, but operationally, we are profitable at all points in time.
So which are some of the newer markets that you're eyeing and targeting?
2022 actually saw us being early days of US market, early days of Europe market, and we sort of doubling down on that. Southeast Asia is a very interesting, evolving, fast-moving market for us. So that's one area where we want to consolidate a little more on the Singapore, Thailand, Philippines region. So these are the two key central focus points that we have in terms of our growth strategy for the year.
So I understand that a while back there was that partnership with WebEx Developer Partner Program, and this was essentially to strengthen the hybrid work and humanize WebEx experiences. Can you just walk us through how that partnership shaped up? Are there any other partnerships on the anvil or tie-ups?
Sure. So as I said, that it's one of the most fundamental technologies where we bring in facial coding, eye tracking, voice AI to analyze human behavior. As in, me and you are talking on a conversation, can I analyze my face expression to get to know whether I'm involved, engaged or not, right? So it fits into any sort of conversation which is out there, and we have a product called as Decode, which caters to this. So this partnership was primarily, can any of the Cisco conversation, if you're using the WebEx conversation, if any business is using, can they use this additional services to actually analyze the behavior of the conversation and the engagement of the conversation, the emotion of the conversation? So that's something that we have worked on. We are parallelly working with Microsoft. We are working with Zoom. We are working with Slack. So across board, all the audio video conversation ecosystem is something that we are blending ourselves in to figure out how we can empower these insights across all remote digital conversation, which is audio video in nature.
So then what would ChatGPT bring to the table? You know, this OpenAI's artificial intelligence part, Chatbox, how will it help with your existing conversational platform that you spoke of, Decode?
Sure. So I think there are two parts of what we bring in. One is we are world's largest repository of emotion and behavior data. So we are able to, given any conversation, we are able to mine a lot of insights out of that. And this is data that we have homegrown over the last 7 years. And we're able to bring a lot of insight in terms of not just what a person is saying, but how they're saying and what does it mean. Now, once you have such huge amount of data and you as business want to put a simple query, as it did my 50% of the user plus like the product, ChatGPT actually brings a very cool interface which allows you to look at this data in a lot more structured way and get you insights which is pinpointed to what you really want to know. So the face of dashboards would likely be evolved to more conversational querying system, which is powered by ChatGPT. So that's how we see embedding ChatGPT to what we already have.
You know, in the budget gone by, the finance minister did stress a lot on, building the digital infrastructure, boosting AI tech, talking about centers of excellence for AI. How have you looked at some of the announcements on this front with a particular focus on tech?
Yeah, I think it's been very welcoming. I think the story of Bharat Inc. for world as a software place has been starting from IT services to product to now being forefront of AI technology, when the companies like ours have invested a substantial amount of 3-4 years of our time building IP, which is superlative in nature and coming out of India. So I think these initiative really sets the backbone for a company like ours to actually go about building the whole core infrastructure on which a large number of AI services can be built. So it's very welcoming, and I think it's very strengthening and encouraging for a startup like us.
Okay. But, at the same time, we're also looking at the entire startup world that's facing quite a bit of a lot of nervousness and concern with respect to the kind of layoffs that we've seen, the recession fears that have emerged. Do you think that enough was done on enhancing formal job creation in the budget, or a lot more could have been addressed?
Yeah, I think a fair amount of effort has been given to actually reduce the job attrition and sort of job creation possibilities. I think the ownership is not just with budget and government. I think it lies a lot with responsibility with which companies are run, and can we stay very frugal and stay very consistent with our business metrics to ensure that some of these things are well taken care in advance. And I think it comes down to precise planning, a lot more frugal innovation approach to actually scale your business profitably. I think it's been a thought process that growth and profitability doesn't come together, but if you are a company with solid foundation and fundamentals, I think it's fairly achievable.
Now, just taking the clock back as well, I understand that down the line you had co-founded other startups, Red Castle and Oil Party. What's happened to them?
Oh, I was working with. I was 26, and I realized that probably it's not a bad idea to start a company which allows you to party well. So it was a consumer internet night for all nightlife places. It was an aggregator platform. Ran it 2 years and 2.5 years actually, and learned a lot out of that in terms of how to build, how to scale. I think this was a different kind of a time. I'm talking about 2012 to 14, and it was not like funding and all that stuff was the same ecosystem. So we've come a lot way from there. I think both in terms of maturity of founders as well as maturity of ecosystem. So yeah, we scaled at certain point, but couldn't define differentiator very early on. And at some point in time felt that this is going to be very hard to scale, and probably that's not something that I would like to give my rest of life on. So and that learning actually played out when we started Entropik, because at the start of it, we took a problem statement which was really hard, that even if you are solving 60% of it, you are best out there. So yeah, our party was good. We partied well, and I think there's a lot of learning in terms of how to build and scale, and I think all those learnings came in when we started this company. So it's been that way.
So from the past, then let's talk about the future, because I understand you've said that you've grown your top line by over 7 times in the last 2 years. What's the target going down the line? And can you just also walk us through what exactly the fundraise is going to be utilized towards? Because I understand you plan to consolidate various tools into a single platform.
That's right. So kind of right now, the next year for us is looking like a 3x growth. That's what we are aiming from here. And kind of there are 3 tracks on which we are going to deploy our funds and investment. The first one is we are world's largest emotion data repository, and that with over 100,000 plus ads tested, with over 25,000 apps tested, we have a huge repository of understanding how people behave on various kind of experiences. So we are working towards actually making it a lot more predictive, which means that can you give me an ad and I can recommend that these are the 5 changes you can make, and hence this is the kind of viewership lift that you're going to get. So those are kind of predictive tech that we are coming up with. On the product side, it's primarily we have got a product for testing out all sort of marketing experiences. We have got a product called as EffectiveX, which is for all things user experience, and the last one is Decode, which is on conversation side. So we are bringing all that together in an AI-powered integrated consumer research platform, and that's going to give a lot more flexibility to our customers to use it in modules the way they want, and that's another thing upcoming. And last is business focus and expansion in US and Europe primarily. So these are the three tracks around which we are looking to invest and focus for next 12 to 15 months.
We wish you all the very best. Thanks so much for taking time out and joining in and giving us that viewpoint on Startup Central.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.